Well, here we go. Might as well get started since we're recording this. Hello and welcome to a tutorial on basic streaming. So, basically, the agenda for this is I'll be going over uh, OBS Studio, which is basically just an open broadcasting system. Uh, A lot of streamers will use it for hosting video games and whatnot. I simply use it for a screen capture to capture NET's live streaming of the legislature. Then we'll go over what exactly it means using that in Facebook Live, and we'll do a brief overview of my entire process streaming NET to Facebook. So, what you see right now is my right monitor. I run a two monitor system, and right now my streaming service is capturing my right monitor. This is the basic uh, application I'm using to do it, called OBS Studio. You can see right here, this window is showing you what you see on this screen. Down here, we have a couple different options. So when I'm streaming the legislature, you can go in here and add another scene, and you can create things like, uh, goodness, it's been a while since I've actually made one. Uh, but so anyway, on my other stream, there is an opening image and a closing image that says "Welcome to Unicamera Watch" and "Thanks for watching with us." That's just a nice thing you can do, and I can get into more of that later. But if you're just looking for streaming, we'll move on. Uh, Over here, I have sources that are audio input capture, output capture, and desktop audio. These basically let you know when you're capturing uh, audio that's coming out. So we need to capture audio coming out when we're streaming a video so that the audience will actually hear it while we also capture the screen. To download OBS, you just have to go to obsproject.com. If you're running Windows, you'd click this button right here. On a Mac, you'd click this right here. And Linux, you'd click this one right here. Though I imagine most of you, at least in the study group, probably aren't running Linux. And if you are, you probably don't need this tutorial. So we'll move on. Uh, just to recap a little bit about the program. It is open source. What that essentially means is it's free, and if you have any experience coding, you can sort of uh, program your own changes. You can fix anything you see wrong with it. You can also break things in it very easily. I tend not to mess with it and just let whoever's developing run all the patches they want. Just a reminder, go ahead and type in any questions you have. If you want to go back over the scenes, I might hit that at the end of the video if I see enough interest for it. But I'm going to move on to how to... Oh, before I move on, uh, one person that will give you a much better tutorial, or maybe not better, but definitely more specific, is this YouTube channel called Epos Vox. He's got just a ton of tutorials on how to work with OBS. It's how I figured out how to solve my recording issue. Last week I could only stream and then download it off of Facebook. Now I am streaming and recording at the same time, which is very nice because Facebook's download quality is atrocious. Anyway, I'm going to move on to how to actually stream from Facebook. So my Facebook page looks like this. The important bit is down here on pages I manage. I just click on this little button here called Live, and then it brings me up here. If I were doing this on my phone, or if I had a webcam attached, it would probably be able to find a camera right here. But since it doesn't, since I'm only trying to stream another live stream, I'm going to hit this connect. And that's where I find this. This is the important bit, the stream key. All I need to do is copy that. It's copied to my clipboard, and then I go back to OBS Studio. I run down to the settings. I click stream here, and then I paste the stream key in right here, hit apply, and we're good to go. And I just hit OK. And once I hit this start streaming button, it'll start streaming to Facebook. We'll have just a couple second delay, and then I'll hit go live down here, and OBS is streaming to Facebook. It'll show whatever scenes I have in here, whether it's screen share or this current. Back to see what I see. Here you go. So that is streaming to Facebook. You can do things like share in a group, share on your own personal timeline. It's important to note, if you share on your timeline, the video will have your privacy settings. So if it's public, it's public. If you share it in a group, the video will have the privacy settings that that group has. So if you are worried about fostering the correct discussion on your live stream, that is something important to note. You can also share from a page you manage. So I could share it from my page, Nebraska Secular Democrats, right now, or I could share it from other pages. I could share it to any group I'm a part of by typing in their name. And there they are. This is essentially a video description where you can type in anything from links to what you had for breakfast this morning. You can add a title and then any sort of tags. It's pretty straightforward posting. What I generally do, as you'll see in this video, is I'll provide links. In this video I have links to the OBS download, so you can just click on that and find the links you need. You can find the YouTube tutorials I just spoke of a couple minutes ago, and you can find Nebraska Live on Demand. This is what I always stream from because it's the important. This is the content I want to generate. Oh, there was something I was gonna say. Whatever, it's fine. So moving on. Actually streaming NET. I'll just walk you through what a typical weekday morning looks like for me. I'll get up at least by 8:30 or 8 so that I can get this all set up. I will get the Facebook ready, uploaded, or ready to post, the stream key loaded, and then I'll get my right monitor so that it looks like this. Then once I hit play, it's going to start going. At 9 o'clock, everyone will see the legislature and I'll have it recording. I think it's super important to actually record it because while we can get these recordings through the clerk of the legislature, it's a rather lengthy process, and it does have a small fee attached. You have to pay them for the flash drive that they give it to you. I think we could do a lot more with transparency in our legislature. For instance, like the work I'm doing right here could be done very easily by someone working there right now if they just, presumably if they knew what they were doing. But that's neither here nor there. To show you a little bit of what that looks like, maybe I can find a live video. Here we go, Big Red wrap up, spring practice. Here we go. You might be getting audio. I hope you're not, because it's actually a little annoying for me right now, so I'm just gonna pause it right now. But you got that little bit of Scott Frost saying something about sports that I don't really pay attention to. And that's basically it. I do need to give you a little disclaimer. While we record this, NET has this little bit. This media is intended for personal, news, educational, or research purposes and should not be used for commercial or political purposes. Uh, Personally, I think that's a little vague. I don't know enough about the legalese of it, but I think everything personal is political and everything political is personal. But I mean, I imagine as long as you're not using it for campaign purposes, you're generally going to be pretty fine. And that pretty much covers it. When you're done streaming, you'll just hit stop streaming, and then your Facebook Live video will end. After, uh, depending on the Facebook servers, that day, after like 5, 10, 20 minutes, your video will be quote unquote available. It'll essentially be finished processing. At that point, people can go back and watch the whole video uh, unless you decided to delete it. Also, from that point, you can download it if you weren't recording it. So, from that perspective, for those of you in the study group that are planning to stream the legislature in here, you don't necessarily have to worry about recording it because I can come back in and download it and then I can upload it to my YouTube channel where I have plenty of videos of the legislature so that we have a good record of it. Um, Sorry, I make a little whistling noise when I'm thinking. I didn't exactly write out a script for this. Um, yeah, so after your Facebook Live video is done and it processes. Okay, so what it does when, if you do decide to record using OBS Studio, is it will just create a video in your PC's video folder, or if you can go into the settings and find a different place to put it. But right now, this is the current video that I am streaming right now. Once it's done, I'll rename it and I'll go into YouTube. I'll click on this, create a video or post, upload video, and then it's really simple. I just drag it right in there and then it starts uploading. This is seriously too easy if you have the right hardware for it and if you have the time to do it. On days that I stream the legislature, sometimes I'm sitting here for the full 3 hours watching the floor debate because it's riveting and it's interesting, and I'm just sort of a nerd who likes watching rules. Other times I'll get it started at 9:55 and I won't touch it again until noon, even though that leaves sometimes 15 or 20 minutes of just a blank screen streaming. Because the people that are going to watch this generally, a lot of times we're looking for clips. We're looking for what a specific senator said on a specific issue. And that's all we really need. We just want to be able to go in and see this record very easily, which is why I'm rather frustrated that it's not easier to do, that the unicameral is doing this themselves, because it is very easy. I'm running this off of uh, a $500 computer that I built myself. It's very simple. I mean, if you don't have a proper graphics card, if you don't have a good network connection, it can be a little tricky. But other than that, it's very simple. Um, I wonder if I can change scenes while streaming. Or, no, I cannot change profiles. Never mind. I was going to show you what these scenes look like. I don't think I can actually edit them while uh, while streaming. So that's why you don't see all the options here. But essentially, these scenes you can do almost anything with. You can make them screen capture like I'm doing right now. You can add images. You can add preloaded video. All sorts of good stuff. So, um, since I'm not seeing any questions in the queue, I'm just gonna cut the video here. I hope if any of you are in the floodplain, you're keeping dry. Uh, One of the reasons I'm doing this tutorial now is that I'm on state active duty assisting the National Guard efforts. I know our mission today was trying to sandbag some of the pump houses that feed the city of Lincoln fresh water. So that's fun. I'll be doing that the next couple weeks. Hopefully, some of you can pick up the slack recording the legislature for us so that we can keep this record. I know Ernie Chambers doesn't have too much time left in the legislature, and it'd be great to keep as much of him on record as we can because he's just a literal gold mine for genius. And with that, thank you for watching. Thank you for staying active in our legislature, and it's never too late to learn a new technology and to spread information. Thank you, and good night.